Good morning. It's a very beautiful topic, valuing ourself. I think we all know that, Baba values us very greatly. Every day in the Murli, he says how precious, how special, how unique, how much he appreciates us. And like today in the Murli, he says the apron opens number-wise. So the intellect is able to accept and receive this appreciation, this understanding of our value from Baba, each differently, each of us according to our own story. I might just stop for a moment and make sure we have translation. Is it okay in Russian? Translation? Okay. Anyone else getting translation? Okay. So it's okay. All right. So this is a story about our journey home, and our journey home, of course, is to the soul world, home to God, but also home to ourselves. And so an accurate and complete understanding of our value. How many of you here feel you have that? Okay, good. So we're all in the right place. I asked a sister to be on this panel, and I said, the topic is valuing yourself or self-love. And she said, oh, I've always loved myself. And I thought, okay. Well, I don't know if that's been true for all of us, but for her it was. So I thought that was very instructive. So I'm going to introduce the panelists. And just before I do, I'm Sister Judy from Canada. I wonder if we could have a quick show of hands. How many of you are 1 to 5 years in Gyan? If you would put up your hand. So from 1 to 5 years, because that helps our panelists remember those experiences. Thank you. Anyone 5 to 10 years? Show of hands? Great. Okay. 10 to 15? Okay. Good. And anyone 15 plus? Okay. 20 plus. Keep your hands up, Christine, at the back. Good. 25 plus. Oh, look. 30 plus. Look, they're still up there, Louisa and Chris at the back. Did I say 35? Should I say 40? No, okay, all right. So we have some sage and wise elders with us in the gathering, and we also have a range, 5, 10, 15 years. So that's helpful, because at different times in our journey, I think different things happen for us, even though for each of us it's very unique. So I will introduce the panelists, and I have asked them in advance, I've told them in advance, I have only 2 questions for them. And I will say the 2 questions, and then I will give them each a chance to respond. So we first here have Gite she's currently based in Finland, and she's been with Baba 18 years. Okay, Gite from Finland. Next to her we have Hilda, currently based in Germany, and she's been 27 years with Baba. So she's the elder here on stage. Okay, and next to Hilda we have Alan. I think born in Suriname, but based in London? Born in Netherlands, based in London. But grew up in Suriname. So that's a wonderful variety of experiences. And 16 years with Baba. And here we have Sergei, Brother Sergei, from Russia, currently based in Russia, near Moscow. And he's been with Baba 22 years. He came very young, 19 years old. So he's prematurely aging. He's our 22 years. Okay, so we have these 4 beautiful souls. And the 2 questions I asked of each of them. Since coming to Baba, but the question was more general. It was, in your life, what has helped you value yourself. And the second question was, how does that show? How does that express itself? Having greater value for the self, how does that show itself practically? So those are the two questions, and actually anyone can start, or would you prefer that we start and then just go along? Doesn't matter? Any preference? Okay, so maybe we will begin with Gite then. So again, the two questions in your life since coming to Baba. What has helped you increase your value, to value yourself, and how does that show?
Thank you. Hopefully it doesn't sound like a cliche, but Baba's Gyan and yoga. Gyan is theory, and once we face problems and we have enough power to be detached, we start to see certain patterns. And if we behave like a door carpet, others will treat us like that. So it's very good to have Gyan for detachment, seeing what's happening. And I was just thinking, you know the dream where you're walking in the stairs and then first the bar, the support is disappearing in the dream, and then the stairs are disappearing and the castle is disappearing, everything is disappearing. And when you're in that kind of moment, you really, the only thing what you have is faith. So Baba's knowledge is definitely something that carries us. And how does it show? I would say it's a lot nicer to be in your own skin, and also recently I have learned a lot that I have a little issue of facing things. So I'm much better at facing things and understanding the dynamics in it. Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Gite. Hilda?
Yes, well, first my thoughts were, okay, you know, we don't value ourselves because, you know, sort of we have lost so much, like energy and strength in the soul, and then you see all the defects, and maybe you see them just unconsciously, but you know sort of they are there, and you see others and you think, oh, you know, they are much better and can deal with things a lot better, and you know, sort of you can't, so you see this delta, and you don't want the delta to be there, huh? You want, you know, I think everybody of us wants just to be nice and easygoing and connecting easily, but sometimes it's, you know, it's just not possible. I also think you know, in my case, sometimes I want to be like too much perfection, and I don't understand why it's not there. Yeah, I think only as deities, then, you know, it is just automatically. And now we have to work for it, but it's sometimes to understand that we have to like relearn it, and it's not automatic. And then things happen, huh? Sometimes, you know, situations, other people, they just disappoint you, and you sort of don't understand, you know, what happened. And often I got told on my journey, well, first you have to learn to love yourself. And when I was thinking, well, I love myself, you know, because otherwise how could I continue with my life if I don't? Huh? Because if we don't love ourselves, we commit suicide or something crazy. And hopefully we are not doing this. So I was, you know, all the years, again and again, that subject came up for me, and I was, you know, really thinking, okay, so I think the two main points that came up for me was first, well, accepting the way we are. That's a big step. Yeah. I think it's also connected a lot with the karma that is just there. We don't know what we have done in our previous lives, but we see the consequences. And this is something, some of the consequences I think we have to bear and sort of to go through. We can't sort of just press a button and change it, but again, it's work. So to accept. And the other lesson, I think, is very helpful to see that if other people do something or say something to you, maybe we take it more personally than they meant it. Yeah, I think I have a tendency to then take things too personally, and then I think, oh. But I also think, okay, what did I do wrongly? But maybe I didn't do anything wrongly, it's sort of on their plate and, according to the sanskaras or the others. So not taking things too personally. So these are the two things I worked on, for me to clarify that and sort of explain that more to me. And I think how it shows that I'm more relaxed, take things more easy, not reacting so fast, so quickly, maybe so harshly. But then, it's a journey. Sometimes there will be other triggers that you didn't know before, and then you just have to accept them.
Thank you, Hilde. Alan?
Om Shanti. When Judy asked me the question yesterday, I sort of was thinking about it in the sense that how did I value myself before and how it changed. And in a sense, I always felt I had value for myself, even as when I was young. But I realized it was very, very superficial. It's just because the circumstances were just right that I kind of was able to value myself. I had a nice upbringing, nice family, and in that sense, there was very, very little that would sort of not devalue me, in a sense. The only thing that I felt that I did not kind of meet expectations, if you like, for it was the relationship I had with my father. He was a good parent, but a bit demanding and at certain times. And the times I really felt not being valued is when I felt that I wasn't meeting his expectations. And so I guess till I came into Gyan, I felt I need to do more just to meet his expectations. But it was always superficial. Either he felt I wasn't studying hard enough. I was always like a mediocre student. I would just do just enough to pass, minimum effort. That was that's how I studied all my life. And he felt I wasn't doing good enough if I was doing sports. He was feeling I didn't put enough of effort. And at a later time, I realized that it was not because of me. It was because of him. Because he saw in me all the opportunities that he didn't get. And so he obviously saw a little bit of him in me and would, in that way, want to bring the best out of me, which in many cases I did not. And so that was one of the first realizations, that it was not me in a sense, but it was him. And actually that realization only came when I came in Gyan. And to actually answer the first question, what made the change? One of the, at one point, I don't know who asked the question, but when I came in Gyan, the question was asked to me, how do you think God sees you? And obviously the first things that come up in your mind is all the defects that you see in yourself. Oh, this could be better, that could be better, or I could change that. But that's not how God sees us. God sees the truth, the soul, the highest potential. He sees only the beauty. And if you dig deep, there is only beauty. And that's when I realized that if God sees me that way, why would I see myself differently? And this made a huge, huge, huge difference. And then once I start looking at the self in the way God looks at us, then what's there not to love? What's there not to value? And that kind of brought about a huge, huge, huge shift in my awareness. And then I realized that all the value I gave to myself in before was just superficial. It was just how I presented me. It's basically the ego, right? If the ego is happy, then we value ourselves. That is the superficial kind of self-value. But the true value is if you go beyond that, if you see this beauty of the soul, the purity of the soul, the true nature of the soul, and then what's not to value? And then what happened then, how does it show? It shows that, for me, it showed I became much more stable in my relationships. Because before, relationships was very important for me to maintain my self-value. Because as soon as there's friction within relationship, doesn't matter what relationship, whether it's with family, friends, or colleagues, if there's any friction, then there comes this self-doubt that, oh, there is something wrong with me. But once you have that true deep self-value of, I am this beautiful being, this beautiful soul, my stability within these relationships becomes more stable. I'm not dependent on them to show their love for me, that they like me, that Ellen is nice and good and and whatnot. So that's how it really started to show.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Sergey.
Om Shanti. I don't understand when you present me from which originally I'm from Russia. Originally I'm from Bharat, what I feel. When I first time come in India, I just have this deep feeling that this is my fatherland, Bharat. When I see everything, what Baba speak about in Murli, about it, how devotees praise him and how it is all here, all systems. And when I see this here in Bharat, I just feel this, I'm this soul from Bharat. And this is just feeling of this self-value. What Baba says, it's originally, it is. And now my constant place of residence is Baba's heart. This I feel. Especially in this trip in Madhuban, I feel that Baba is my friend and I live in Baba's heart. And place of service, it is Saratov, quite big city in Russia, connected with Moscow. And when I come to Baba, it was for me just very great intoxication, point of intoxication. Maybe it is first which I feel express this self-respect in this like intoxicated stage and happiness, just happiness. I was a big seeker of truth before Gyan. I read so many books and trying to understand something. And it is connected closely to feelings of Brother Ellen. Maybe we sit together and it resonated a little bit. It was from childhood, this deep feelings and faith in the soul that I'm special. This world, it is different, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but all what is around me, not complete, not so good as it should be. And that soul, have some speciality that can help this world, that can transform this world. And just before Baba's Gyan, I tried to understand, try to find something in books, in some speaking with some people, try to understand how can I help to this world. And when I come to Baba's Gyan, just Baba saying immediately about soul, about himself, yes, spiritual laws, it was for me such opening that just truth. Just I believe that what is said, it is so. Baba says that, okay, it is so. And it was just so great at opening of myself, and this what I try to find before. And what is first point of great intoxication. And I think it is first very big help to maintain my self-respect on some level. Because before Gyan, I just studying in school, studying in institute. I was good in study. I tried to be best first, many achievement, some special concourses, go and win it. Like have some achievement, physical achievement, and this prove to feel, it gives me feelings that yes, I'm some best, I'm good, I have some abilities, intellectual, mind is good, but inside, I say before that inside I have faith that's a special soul, but most time I feel that as I'm so weak, I can do nothing, I just have no power. Just some minute situation happens and destroy my happiness, destroy my feelings, inner feelings. And so this is, I also search something. And when I come to Baba, this first intoxication, it just helped me to start pointing of development of this self-respect. And after it start to learning, a very deep learning process. Little by little, I learn Baba's Murli. This clever brain, which I have before Baba's Gyan, it is also become like little obstacles first to go in Gyan. Because I just read Murli, I understand everything. It's simple. But situation comes and you feel this, you not understand nothing. And this process is going and just understand this. It is superficial. You just understand, yes, it is good. But go deeper. And this deepening process is going and going. I try to find some ways to make this learning process is more interesting. Baba give us many methods. Some chart of self-checking. Yes, it is work. Many Srimats for it. And I work with it, but also some second speciality of the soul is I cannot do something what I not interested. If I do sometimes something, it's become like, I know, it is ordinary, it is the same. And I try to find some new yuktis, new vision, new understanding how to work with Baba's Murli. And when I find these new methods, and with the help of these methods, I also open something new for me. This new openings, a new experience, was like deepening and deepening of my stage of self-respect. It's going deeper, deeper, deeper. And after sometimes, first I just very much like studying Murli. Baba Murli, it's good. But yoga, no so deep value. Just, I have good feelings in yoga, it's good feelings. And also, just sometimes you sit and nothing happens. And sometimes you sit and just flow is going. And it was also the point of some distraction. What is this? When you sit, try. Yesterday was so good, and now today you're not a good person. You not achieve success. And after some time, our seniors helped to develop this inner deep interest to development in yoga. And this was, I think, starting point of developing in this basic inner deep self-respect. And also I started working with chart. Baba said, check how many minutes, hours a day you remember Baba. And with mathematical this background, I very like this idea, and I tried. Every hours, how many minutes? Just from morning to evening. And very long I do this chart. 5 or 7 years. With some breaks, just going. And what was first point? When you maintain this chart, sometimes you have half an hour, 2 hours, some bodies, yes, it's different from day to day. But when you make average, I make this like for the month average amount of this remembrance, it would just exit some point. You understand, you just here. It will start 55 minutes, next month 52 minutes, next month 57, 58, in just maybe 1 year it is going minute by minute average. It's going. And after like something changes in the soul, and it go more than 1 hour. And 2 hours, and here in Madhuban once we have some special competition between Brahmins, 7-8 hours we just go and Baba give the same, 8 hours a day. This working, deep working with yoga, it was second basis, I think this deep self-respect. And now, yesterday, sister just come to me and say about, do you want to be on this meeting? And I just wonder, how do they know it? I just go for this trip, for Madhuban trip, it was my aim. First aim, to develop, to maintain and develop very, very basic, very, very pure, elevated and deep self-respect. Because now on the place of service, it is most examination connected with this. I feel that it is self-respect. Self-respect, it is needed very, very, very pure, very, very high level. And so just I working with it, and in this time I have just new idea that usually we respect ourselves for some achievement, for something we have, something we do, we go in front, we make something, yes? And a real self-respect, if you respect yourself for nothing, just respect yourself. Even if something happens what you not expect, maybe even you make some mistake, even maybe you do something not what you want to do, it's not achieve the aim, but if at this point you respect yourself, it means you maintain stability. You maintain the faith in the self. The faith that, yes, maybe this time, not this time, but next time, it will be my time. I will be successful. So this just respect yourself for nothing. Just I'm a soul, Baba say, because Baba say everything, yes? We are souls, we are elevated souls, and just this Baba's pure knowledge about soul, I just believe in Baba, and I respect Baba's thoughts about me. And this expression, what about expression, it is her highest aim. What Baba say for us, it is constant stage in the victory and defeat, praise and defame. I think this constant stage. any happens you just, and not constant stage, just happy, just sparkling constant stage. It's the same.
Thank you, Sergey. Wow, that was beautiful. Thank you. So we have, wasn't that beautiful? We have the Gyan and the practice of detachment to be able to see the patterns there, not here, which allows me to be cooler, calmer, more peaceful in my response, right? And we have this just accepting, I am who I am how I am, and it's okay. And I'm learning, and I continue, yeah? And we have this acceptance of Baba's appreciation of you, not at intellect level, but really working into accepting it. Discovering that you can say, why would I not accept what Baba thinks of me, right? And then we have a very systematic approach. Instant recognition of value of soul, and then 22 years of practice systematically on the recognition that we appreciate ourselves because of what effort we put in. And so beginning to see the soul making spiritual effort increases the self-respect. These are very beautiful tips from all of you. I remember once Sister Mohini saying to all of us in Peace Village, she asked us, how many of you were black sheeps in your family? Or black sheep, I think we say. Black sheep in your family. And everyone in the room put up their hand. Would that be true in this gathering? How many of you were black sheep in your family? Black sheep, you know what that means, right? You were different than your family. They were one way, somehow you were different. You were always different. How many of you had that experience from a young age? And it's interesting to hear you say, Sergey Bhai, to say you felt special right from the beginning. And I suspect that we as souls, Brahman souls, deity souls, travel the entire cycle, never losing connection with this, I'm special, I'm special. Somehow I'm special. And it might come out in arrogance, it might come out in isolation, it might come out in all different ways, but we never forget that we're special. We just can't seem to access the pure speciality. When I first came to the Yagi, it's about 20 years now, I remember everyone was quite preoccupied with discovering their role. What is my role? What is my speciality? And lots of conversation about that. And in other words, what is it that is special about me? I know I'm special, but what is uniquely me? And I know for myself, I didn't really know how valuable I was until I had a couple of breakthrough experiences. One of them a bit like you, Alain, just really feeling the value of the soul, not Judy, but the soul, you know, just the pure life energy. But the other came very recently. One of our seniors said about me in a large gathering, she said, Sister Judy knows her value because she's let herself be used by God. You get that? So Sister Judy knows, and it was an affirmation, a statement, like a statement of truth. But I didn't know that I knew my value until she said that. And then I thought, oh, I think I do know my value. But it was like all of a sudden, because I hadn't known my value for 20 years, I don't think. I'd struggled to discover, and I had brought accomplishments. I had brought lokik skills and talents, but that's different than valuing the self. Like valuing Judy, that's all external ego, you know, accomplishments. And that, I found there was a real secret in that because I could accept, I had let myself be used by God in endless ways for 20 years. And on the basis of that, I now knew my value. It's like my value was revealed by allowing myself to be used. So I'm just wondering if any of you have had that experience. Because, you know, sometimes when I allowed myself, I say allowed myself to be used by God. Those are her words. But sometimes it was with a little resistance. Sometimes it's, well, I don't really want to do this, but I can see this is very important to Baba, so I did. Other times I was very happy and excited to do it. But the end result was my value increased in my own eyes, the more I let myself be used by Baba. So I'm just wondering if any of you have had that experience, if this being useful to Baba, being used by Baba, has added in any way to your sense of your own value.
Okay, I'll go. I do kind of recognize what Sister Judy is saying. The reason being, it's a little bit backstory. I had the opportunity to come to Baba 10 years before I actually did. I came through my Lokik sister, who was already 10 years in Gyan by the time I came in Gyan. And she tried to pull me in, had some excuses to get me to the center or all different ways, and I very strongly said no. And she tried it for 10 years. But the reason, afterwards, I was thinking about it, why was it that I've not taken the opportunity immediately? Why have I waited 10 years? And now, looking back, I realize that Baba had a plan. I think if I would have come in Gyan at that time, I don't think I would be able to do the service that I'm doing now. And so it was like a preparation time. Baba preparing me for the time that I would come to him, in a sense. And so as soon as I came in Gyan, also the service immediately started. And I think the key word in what you were saying is allow yourself. I think it's very important because otherwise it becomes you doing the service and you doing what you think should be service and not Baba doing his work through you. And I feel that that is an important mindset to have also. And seeing the value that you have once you come to Baba, and Baba using all those speciality, not only using it, but in my case, I felt he was kind of nurturing it or growing it. And then at the right time, then utilizing it. And so I do very much feel like that once I came in Gyan, that Baba immediately started using my specialities. But there's a fine line that between him using you or you allow him to use you in the right way, or you taking over and say, okay, I have to do this, I need this to be done, and I have my own ideas on how service needs to be done. And so that balance is still quite, how would you say it, it's a very thin line, which I think I regularly cross, because I still often have the idea that it's my responsibility, which it's not. It is Baba's responsibility. I just need to be in the right mindset of being the instrument and let him work through it. But it's not always that easy. The ego can so quickly step in and take over.
Thank you, Alan. Did anyone else have a response to that? Sergey?
Also, I just now remind us this was also two main bases, like pillar of maintaining and developing self-respect is a service and a relationship in godly family, in Baba's family. In Russia, we have quite big family. Just when I come, it was just so big amount of good, nice yogi and Gyani souls with whom I just very often communicated. First year, it was just learning process. Like university, I come and go, learn myself. And after this first year, I just little by little going into service. In service, it is always connection with some people, with some student. You see some examples how they work with this Gyan. Because what is service? Service, we just have this theory, Gyan. We have powers from yoga, and we try to put it in practice in somehow way. And this, when you see how others do it, see these good examples. For me, it was just good fortune. When I come to Baba's Gyan, first as I feel now, and I understand, I meet and work and connect with the best student examples in everything. Just best, and after this is going all the rest. Yes. And this was the good preparation for me because it was just quite young age, very expressive, very impressive. Anyone could give some impression, and so it was best impressions for me. I think that Baba knows what is the soul, and he organized everything this best way. And after this, the service, of course, just become like a very big source of inspiration. We do many programs, like culture programs also. Just 2 days before, it was very beautiful, wonderful program from St. Petersburg, and also in Moscow we make some scenes, some dance, and it was like very, very good. Like Baba, use your talents, and also with inspiration. Sometimes you do whatever you don't even think that you can do it. Big gathering, you come into the stage, you do it after you think, wow, it's done. So usually, often it is done. You feel that I cannot do it myself. It just happens. And after some times we understand that it's Baba. Baba help. In Murli, first of course you feel that, oh, I'm so great yogis, I'm so Gyani soul. And after one Murli, Baba say, some children think that I'm do it. Baba help. So, and after this understanding that Baba help and everything, it just some wonders happens. And when you see these wonders which Baba do through you, this other type of self-respect is very deep.
Very nice, thank you. Gete, I'm wondering if you had a response to that.
Allowing Baba to use you and value from that. Well, it is quite obvious when we become PKs. First, it is ego that is growing and getting maybe crushed and growing. So our value is from what's happening. But drama is also very entertaining. We had 7 years like a garage type Baba center, and so it wasn't anything grand. And then suddenly we got this beautiful place by the sea, and it was really royal. And of course we told to us that this is just for Baba's service and this. But within 2 years we had problems there, and we had to move out, and we became refugees, finding another place and another place. So drama is, if we take any support from the physical things, whether it's people or things or situations, drama will test and take it away and see how about now. So Baba is the purifier, and it's like being in a laboratorium and diluting so that the essence is there, and essence is really the soul, what everyone was here nicely putting. Self-respect, soul consciousness. So when all this is coming and going, and also attachments to your own specialities. Really, I think a good drama is very good at teaching us also that they come and go. So it's not about what you're doing, but how. So that's the beautiful thing, that being a sparkling star, you can be no matter what's happening. Good service, bad service, or whatever it's in the drama. So once you are awake, then that's good service.
I think just recently I discovered that if I can create and remain in an energy of openness and curiosity, then it's like, some type of flow that I can go along with it, and then things come, and with openness and curiosity, it's, you go with it, and then I think then through that Baba quite sort of happily can use you, and not so much ego steps in. Because otherwise, if you have certain motivations, you want to be seen, or you want to be, somewhere in the family, maybe sometimes, even do like a career in the BK family. That can be all big traps. And I always sort of saw that others were like engaged often in these things, and I tried to sort of keep myself away from it and not get trapped in such things. But then the danger is that you sort of, a little bit scared of doing anything, because one gets scared to misuse everything. But with this openness and curiosity, I find that's quite an opening energy, and also not with so much ego then. And that helps.
Thank you. Thank you all very much. I see the souls entering the hall, which is an indication Daddy will be with us soon. I'm curious, and maybe, if Daddy comes in the midst of this, then we will just look to her as our living example. But especially as we move along in our Brahman journey, there she is, our value changes, and we will see with Daddy coming here right now, that the value is in her being, not in her doing. And so I think we're very fortunate to have Daddy with us. If you'll all just stand in honor of her arrival.